Okay, back for round 2. It depends more. Chapstick is a lot of talking for me. Let me add a sip of coffee. Sorry. Now we're going to the bed. Speaking of this not really being a kid's place, there's no kids menu anywhere. Literally nothing. So there are a couple restaurants. I know everybody. The bad is obviously going to be the restaurants, not the food, but so there was a barbecue beach grill. Apparently that is closed. I don't know if it's coming back. It's just not there. There's a restaurant called Siena. It's Italian. Zocalo, Mexican. Zaves, Caribbean cuisine. Tapas, international cuisine. And then there's Spoon. That's a buffet. It's open 6:30 to 12, 12:30 to 4:30, and 5 to 11:30. So like little half hours for them to regroup. Le Chic, which is not included in the all-inclusive. You have to pay for it. It's like a 14 course. It's kind of like food art. You don't get to order off of a menu. It comes with probably dry ice and whatever. We never ended up doing it. There's no kids allowed there. You need a reservation, which apparently you cannot make if you're not a member. And you need to, did I say that you need to dress up? You do. And then there's room service. The room service is 24 hours. We did breakfast and lunch, dinner, same menu. The breakfast was great. The dinner and lunch was great. I'll get into this. So at all of the restaurants, you cannot make a reservation if you're not a member. And we're getting back to this Titanic hierarchy of like, you're not getting on the boat if you're not in room 1. Well, we're in room 1 and you still can't make a reservation because you're not a member. And those were the only other staff that were kind of shitty, but I'm guessing they just get beat up all day. Because the rules are the rules. The rules are made by Karisma. Again, this is not their fault. But I'm sure people yell at them all day. So before you book, nobody knows anything about this member except members. And I'm pretty sure the only way you become a member is buying into their timeshare. And to be honest, I'm not going to any hotel owned by Karisma ever again. So I'm not going to buy their timeshare. Quick note with that is not restaurant related, but I don't want to forget to say it. You're going to get, like, maybe your second day, you're going to get this paper in your door that says, like, either, like, $40 free to spend at the gift shop or whatever, or I think, like, a short massage or a candlelit dinner. If you go try to turn that in, they're going to try to talk you into, like, a 2-hour tour, and they will give you the free stuff, I'm sure. I don't know. I didn't do it. But they're going to try to talk you into a tour to buy into basically being a member, owning a timeshare. So if you don't want to do that, I wouldn't go try to get your free stuff. Just pay for your massage and call it a day. But that's what that is. So when you're booking, it says nothing about needing to be a member, any of this stuff. So every single one of those restaurants that I named, except Spoon, which is the buffet, you need a reservation, or you can go in, and it was a 2-hour wait every time. And the last few days we were there, the place was empty. Like, so empty. Right after Thanksgiving, the weekend after Thanksgiving, everybody left. And there was still a 2-hour wait. And that was super frustrating. And again, like, it's not their fault. The maitre d's fault. But, like, they're getting beat up. I literally saw people yelling at them. So Karisma has set this up where their staff gets beat to shit, all of this stuff, to sell timeshares to their honestly kind of shitty hotel. So I want to reiterate that all of the blame needs to be placed on the Karisma Hotel Group, or whatever they're called, Karisma. Okay, so let me tell you a few things about the restaurants. We ate at Siena, Zocalo, Zaves. We did not eat at Tapas, which is the international cuisine, and we didn't do Le Chic, which is the one that you need to pay for, but you can't bring your kids. So unless you brought a nanny, which apparently we should have done, you can't go. each of those restaurants, the menu is very limited, which makes sense, right? But just know that some of them were like 10 choices. There's an appetizer, there's a soup and salad at most. There's, a limited entree menu. Everything we had was very good. Except for at Zava's, because there are no kids menus, we ordered her just a mac and cheese. Like, you can make it happen. It was the worst thing I've ever tasted in my whole life. I've honestly never tasted anything worse. So, not a big deal. It happens. Mac and cheese is probably a very American, very gluttonous thing. Just don't order it if you go to Zava's. Steer clear. So anyway, the food was really good. So besides the wait with the no reservations, the limited menu, besides that, like, no complaints on the food if you can get in. And then the buffet. So the buffet was awesome. A few problems with the buffet is they don't have anywhere you can fill your own drink. It's only the waiters walking around, and they are hustling. But there's a lot of people there. And they give you a small cup. Like, even just give me a big cup so this guy doesn't have to come back. Like, listen, I'm hungover in the morning. I need water. Whatever. It's not the waiter's fault again, but like, just some management could fix a lot of these issues. All of the food was great in Spoon. The drink service could have been better. They could just put a machine where you can get it yourself. There's no ice to be found on this resort. I mean, if you order like a drink, there's ice. But like the water that comes has no ice, and like you can't fill up a water bottle anywhere. So just know that. Oh, and then the other thing with Spoon is the last 3 days we were there, we go for dinner, straight up closed. Nobody said anything. There's no sign when you go for breakfast. Just closed. So our last day, just out of curiosity, because I had decided I was going to do this video for everyone, when we went for breakfast our last day, I'm like, what's the deal at dinner? Like, you guys are not open anymore? Because it had been the consecutive days before that. She's like, no, we open again on Friday. This was Wednesday. And I'm like, you gonna tell anybody that? Like, maybe I would have camped out outside Sienna trying to get some food. Because by the time we went there, so we went back and ordered room service. Room service was great. It's always going to take an hour. So, like, don't order it if you're starving. It's not going to take 30 minutes. It's going to take an hour. The only problem with the room service is every single thing we got was good, but it's 6-7 items. I just take some pictures of the menu, so I'll share those as I don't know how to edit videos, obviously. I don't even know if this can upload. I'll share those as pics on my Instagram. So it just gets kind of old, especially if like, I don't really eat a ton of pasta. So like 2 things were out right there. I don't like mushrooms. There was like a mushroom truffle risotto that sounded good for someone who liked mushrooms, but like, that's another thing out. And then there was like a cheeseburger, a chicken club, and a chicken burrito, which is literally every time I had to order room service because restaurants were randomly closed. I got the chicken burrito, and it was fabulous. But it was like, I don't want a chicken burrito again. Everything for breakfast was great. So I think that's basically it with the restaurants. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to tell you. I don't think so. The fitness center, I forgot to go over. It was neither good or bad. But you do need to make a reservation. So same thing with the kids club, make the fitness center, make the fitness center reservation the day before for the time you want to come. And it was still like, we were having to go at 2:00, which is kind of, I just wanted to go in the morning, but that's obviously COVID related. Excuse me. Okay. So then we're going to get to this COVID test. I made the made the appointment like they said, told me to show up. My appointment was at 10:34 exactly. I showed up 15 minutes early, and he had told us, I was hoping it was written on this one, but it was on the other paper that I've gotten rid of that had the QR code. It was 9 to 11 on the day before you're leaving. You cannot fly out without this negative COVID test. So I show up 15 minutes early for my appointment time, like to the minute. I am a very precise person. So I didn't show up 15 minutes to 11:30 or 10:30. I showed up 15 minutes to 10:34. Like, I'm giving you extra minutes. And she's like, do you have your receipt? And I'm like, no, I didn't save that. He didn't tell me to. You're not on my list. I'm like, well, I made the appointment. She's like, well, we're leaving in 5 minutes to go to our next hotel. You know, they probably have a 2-hour block at a next hotel. Like, well, it's 45 minutes before the end time that he told me. And it's 15 minutes before my appointment. And she's like, you need to get the receipt. You're not on my list. And I'm kind of like, I'm not leaving this room because you're just going to leave and I'm not going to be able to fly out tomorrow. And I want to get the hell out of this resort. I was ready to go home. I could not eat another chicken burrito room service because there was nowhere else to eat. So I'm like, Casey, run as fast as you can to the front desk. We had already been in the front desk for so many things. We knew, I was like, there's no way they're going to have this or whatever. It's going to be useless. She's not going to give me this COVID test. She ended up being very nice, but she told me no 10 times. And I was polite, but I'm like, listen, I'm not leaving this room without a COVID test. And it's just a different hotel room that they kind of take over. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know that this is not your fault, but I cannot leave this room until you stick that thing in mine and my daughter's nose. And Casey, if he makes it back in 5 minutes, I have to go home. You're going to give me the test. I already paid for it, whatever. So while he's getting the receipt, she kind of says, okay, and I start filling out new paperwork that I had already filled out online. Fine, I don't care about that. She gives us the test. It comes back in 30 minutes, so, like, that procedure is good. But, like, she was basically just like, sorry, not sorry. And I am not I'm definitely not a confrontational person. I'm not even, like, a very stern person. And so I'm like, I had to be. I'm like, I am not leaving this room because you're telling me you're leaving the hotel in 5 minutes. I'm like, I cannot leave this room. I'm sorry. I don't know what you have to do on your side, but I'm getting a COVID test. So that's just a fair warning there. I don't have any advice how to make this better. I made the reservation right away too. Maybe make sure you show up way before 11 in case there's, some issues. Make sure you get that COVID test that day or else you are not leaving. All right, moving on in the bad. It's obviously almost done. The thing is, the bad is the majority of, the biggest part of a resort like this. So it's only a few points, but it's what ruins a vacation. The pools are freezing. Literally freezing. The sun does not warm them. They are not heated. Not a single one. Not the premium pool, which you're not allowed to go to if you don't have a number 1 room number. Can't even swim in it. They come and ask you your room number and your last name. But not even that one's heated. None of them are heated. And I was literally using the word icy. Like one day I said, it's less icy than yesterday. Icy. We talked to a couple who were like, we swam in the ocean all day today because it's warmer than the pools. Nothing to be done here except Karisma could heat their pools when you're paying so much. So I just need you to know the pools are icy. I literally have a scuba coat I would have brought if I knew that. So you can order one on Amazon if you need a link. I love mine. DM me. Also, you should just know there are no hot tubs unless you pay for the one in the spa or you have a premium swim-up room. The swim-up rooms that are not premium have little stairs down each room into like almost like lazy river size that then you can swim to the big pool. But the premium swim-up rooms have hot tubs. I don't know how warm they were because, unfortunately, I did not know that, or else I would have paid extra for this swim-up room because the hot tub would have been wonderful. But they're only obviously on the first floor. So if you want to pay, probably, I'm guessing the most, besides like some sort of presidential suite, probably the highest room rate would be premium room, floor 1. So building 1, floor 1, if that's what you want. So just know that. And to get your towels, they are, this is very tricky. And this is not the case in the premium pool. In the premium pool, you just go up and get your towel. But you can't get one if you're not a premium member or premium room. In the other pools, to get the towels is at the excursion desk. You see the problem here? You go up and ask for a towel, and you have to go through the whole spiel every day. We started when we were in the shitty rooms, in the lower deck Titanic rooms, we're like, you're not getting on the boat. We kept our towels and we just used them for whatever we were in there, 3 or 4 days. We just did not go back because I was not going through that spiel again. No is not an answer. You're going to sign up for an excursion probably. Anyways, that's it for the pools. Multiple people I talked to with kids, all of their stuff just kept, kids lose stuff, first of all. But Madden lost her mask, and then we met a family that we became friends with that they lost all their Barbies and little Barbie floats and stuff. And like, these things are just kind of disappearing. But, I'm going to stay off the soapbox on that one. The kids may have just lost them. They're kids. But if you go to the lost and found, so I go up to the lost and found, and I'm like, just, by chance, do you have this mask? It was expensive. He calls. This is Raphael again. Freaking Raphael. He calls lost and found. He asks him for a minute. And then he's like, it's going to take us a while. I'll call you in your room. Never called. I checked the next day. They're still looking for it. I'm like, is there somewhere I can go? I can just scan the masks. It's a blue kid's mask. Like, I think it was Speedo or something. But it was kind of expensive. Anyways, never got the mask back. The people that we were friends with that lost their Barbies, they told them they found them and would bring them to their room. So the dad sat in the room for hours, kept calling and whatever. They also never got their Barbies, but like, at least we didn't sit in our room waiting for the delivery of these items. Okay, so that brings me again to the front desk. This is kind of the wrap up, but just badness. Is badness a word? The front desk. I think I've already said this once, but they're just rude. And again, it's Karisma's fault. These people don't go home. It's not like a prerequisite of the job to be rude. They probably get beat to shit all the time. But they're useless and rude. So now it is a problem. We talked about the cot. We talked about the lost and found. One night I asked for extra blankets. Because, the blanket on the bed, even in the premium room, is like basically a sheet. And Madden and I were sleeping together in one of the queen beds, and I just wanted another blanket. I wait. They're like, yep, we'll send them up. I'm like, perfect, thanks. All of these items, by the way, I was going to the front desk for because our phone in our premium room did not work. And I was like, I'm not calling to have it fixed. They're going to tell me to wait in my room all fucking day. Excuse my language. I should probably put a disclaimer at the beginning. Do not watch this with your children. So I was going down there and like putting in the request nicely. Every day was a clean slate. 4 hours go by and now Madden's ready for bed. I don't want someone knocking on the door. So I just go down and I'm like, I've been waiting for this blanket. Is there any way you could just have them bring it here? I'll wait and, I'll grab a drink or whatever. And, I can take it back to my room. It's been 4 hours since I requested a blanket and I'm in the premium rooms. Like, I should be able to get on the boat. Do you love these Titanic references? But that's how it felt. I haven't thought of the movie Titanic in however long, or of the poor actual people of the Titanic, God rest your soul. It's just all of a sudden popped in my head. That's what it felt like. The second-class citizen. I don't matter enough to get on the boat. If I don't have a room number, it starts with a 1. Anyways, he looks at me, almost laughs. This is Raphael again. He's the only one I remember his name, but like he was also the rudest and the most useless. He looks at me, he's like, I don't think that's how it works. And I'm like, hell no, Raphael. I did not say that, but I'm like, I don't know how it works, but I need you to bring me a blanket to this desk right now. I will wait. Don't fucking laugh at me because of your incompetence. Now I'm getting angry. I should have started with bad. Okay. So it was just, I said how I told him about the room and he said, show me where it says guarantee. Well, I don't know if it actually said guarantee. I didn't say the word guarantee. I just said I need a room with 2 queens. Could you move me? Don't come at me like that, Raphael. The first guarantee guy was not at Raphael, actually, surprisingly. So they were rude, useless, and I'm a CFO of a company. I only say that to say, like, the C-level employees in my company, we talk about culture, we talk about training our employees, we talk about how to make things better, we talk about growing, we're going to get bigger, we're going to have to hire more people. How can we make everything seamless and easy so everyone's on the same page? So much they need a consultant to just come in there and help them with that. Communication would have been better. Again, Raphael does not probably go home at night and be a bad person. But his hands are tied by charisma. He can't get me a blanket or anything. So it's just poor training, poor everything. I don't know if these people are new because they're COVID. That could be. I will give them partly a COVID card for certain things, but get some management in there to help. We asked to talk to a manager multiple times. I don't remember what happened with that. I think one of them was, which was also useless. Yeah. So that, put somewhere on your website that you need to sign up to be a member prior, if you want anything. Put somewhere on your website that you need to be in a premium room to get certain things. Because if you go look at the pictures on the website, they are all of the premium things that you are not allowed to use if you're on the bottom deck of the Titanic. So all of these people who didn't pay for a more expensive room are being sold something that they are not allowed to go over there, period. You can't go to the swim up bar. So in the non-premium section, there is a swim up bar, wasn't open the whole time we were there. And you can't go to the swim up bar in the premium section. So sorry, not sorry. It's just, that was what made me mad. Even though, again, even though we finally got in to the premium section we were supposed to be in. But I don't like when you treat people differently. I don't like when you segregate. I don't like when these other people are being sold something they're not getting. The pictures of the beautiful white furniture and stuff, you will find no white chair in the building 2, 3, 4 section. All of that pretty stuff is in the building 1 section. And I don't think that that's fair or right. So this is my final review. I give it a 1 star at best. But we did have a great vacation. Here's the other thing. 4-year-olds don't care about almost any of this. She didn't even care that the water in every single pool was icy as hell. She didn't care. She had the greatest time. We had a great vacation. We didn't let this ruin it. But if you're watching this and you have not booked or you can still move, I would. A lot of people we talked to spoke highly of a resort called Generations, although I think it's still owned by Karisma. And like I said, this was not this hotel's fault. This was Karisma's fault. And so I personally will not book any more vacations where Karisma has anything to do with it. And like I said, we go on 3 or 4 big vacations a year, and my husband makes me upgrade to the most expensive room. Not most expensive, I mean, let's be real. But he's obsessed with the ocean view. And literally any resort you go to and you book ocean view, you might be able to find it, but like, you're not on it, which is why I like to get cheap about it. But he doesn't, so we don't. Anyway, 1 star. I wouldn't go unless you have low expectations. You just want to have fun. The drinks were great. You could have as many as you want, obviously all inclusive, but like there was no limiting. The food was good once you got to it. There were a lot of pools. The grounds were beautiful. They were decorating for Christmas when we left. It was gorgeous. Staff besides the front desk is great. So I just wanted to, I don't want to scare anyone. I promised I would do this because people have actual questions, and I hope that I've covered everything. If not, DM me or comment wherever I finally get this to load. And I will answer anything that I can. But I promised you a video review. That's my video review. I would just give it 1 star solely based on charisma as a hotel group. I think you can still go and you can still have a good time if you know what to expect. Set my expectations and I can get behind it. So I'm hoping this will set people's expectations and they can have a better trip, not be angry when they first get there and stuff like that. So hopefully this was helpful. That's all. Have fun, guys.